So between today's Supreme Court rulings and Merrick Garland's confirmation hearing, it was a good day for justice in America. And justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So we haven't gotten to say this much during the past 4 years, but today is a good day for justice in America. Here is just some of what happened today. This from the New York Times. Supreme Court denies Trump's final bid to block release of financial records. And yes, that's Donald Trump's tax returns. Here's how that article begins. The Supreme Court on Monday, today, rejected a last-ditch attempt to shield his financial records, issuing a brief unsigned order requiring Mr. Trump's accountants to turn over his tax and other records to prosecutors in New York. Hallelujah. I added the hallelujah. That's not in the New York Times article. But when we look at this story, in combination with two other important data points, there is but one reasonable conclusion. Donald Trump is about to be criminally indicted. Here are those two other data points. This from the Business Insider, published just a couple of days ago. Manhattan's district attorney hired a top prosecutor who pursued mafia boss to investigate Trump. So that is a former federal prosecutor by the name of Mark Pomerantz, and he also happens to be an expert white-collar crime prosecutor. And here's the other data point. This from the Washington Post from a few weeks ago. New York prosecutor hires forensic accounting experts as Trump criminal probe escalates. So folks, those three things in combination, the fact that Donald Trump's tax returns and other financial records are now in the hands of prosecutors in New York, the fact that the New York prosecutors brought on board an expert mob prosecutor and white-collar crime prosecutor to go after Trump, and the fact that the prosecutors in New York spent a whole lot of money, I can assure you, on expert forensic accounting witnesses. Mark my words, Donald Trump is about to be criminally indicted. But wait, there's more. Another case handed down by the Supreme Court today. Here is the headline from the Washington Post. Supreme Court won't take up Republican challenge to Pennsylvania presidential election results. So it looks like Joe Biden really is the duly elected, fairly elected, lawfully elected President of the United States. Good stories today. But wait, there's more. Don't order yet. Let's talk for a few minutes about today's confirmation hearing for Attorney General nominee Merrick Garland. This is going to sound corny, but as I watched from start to finish, that confirmation hearing was a thing of beauty and a thing of justice. Because Merrick Garland started by calling out white supremacists, specifically in connection with the insurrection, with the deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. And here's the part I love. He said he's not just going to be investigating and prosecuting, the mob that stormed the Capitol. He affirmed, pursuant to some questioning from the senators, that he will also be investigating the people who funded the insurrection, the people who aided and abetted the insurrection, and the kingpins. And here is what he said about how he's going to investigate that incident. He said, quote, "I'm going to look more broadly to see where this is coming from. And the this is the white supremacy. And the this is the insurrection on the Capitol." Merrick Garland said, "I'm going to look more broadly to see where this is coming from." Well, Judge Garland, you don't have to look far to see where all of this came from. Merrick Garland also discussed the Trump administration's immigration policy, zero tolerance policy, take the children from the parents policy. And he called it, in a word, quote, shameful, close quote. And he said, quote, I can't imagine anything worse, close quote. Merrick Garland also gave full-throated criticism of the death penalty, talking about how it disproportionately impacts poor people and people of color, and actually said it appears to be used in an arbitrary fashion at times. Merrick Garland also denounced mass incarceration. He quoted the statistic that America has about 5% of the world's population, but we have 25% of the world's inmates, the world's prisoners. Let's face it, folks, if we could incarcerate our way to a safe America, we would have eradicated crime. We'd be the safest place in the world. There would be no crime left, given the incarceration rate that we indulge here in the United States. Merrick Garland was firing on all justice cylinders today. But I saved the best for last. I should probably say I saved the worst for last, because I want to talk for just a minute about Ted Cruz's questioning of Merrick Garland at today's confirmation hearing. So Ted Cruz opened his questioning of Merrick Garland by lecturing to Merrick Garland about the importance of an attorney general remaining independent from the President of the United States, independent of the White House, when making decisions about who to investigate and who to prosecute. And I was taken aback, because all of a sudden Ted Cruz is actually going to acknowledge, I'm thinking, that it was inappropriate for Bill Barr to be so close to Donald Trump, to act as Donald Trump's criminal defense attorney, to use the Department of Justice to punish Donald Trump's enemies and reward his friends and criminal associates. You know, Ted Cruz is all of a sudden like a blind mouse accidentally bumping into a piece of cheese, recognizing this, acknowledging it. But no, Ted Cruz came through like a champ. He didn't disappoint. He proved to us once again that he is exactly who we know him to be. Because after lecturing Merrick Garland about how an attorney general must remain independent of the president, Ted Cruz jumped right over the past 4 years and started to complain and whine incessantly about, wait for it, how close Attorney General Eric Holder was with President Obama. Ted Cruz ignored what we have just suffered through for the last 4 years. Bill Barr corruptly acting as Donald Trump's protector and misusing the Department of Justice to punish Trump's enemies and reward his friends. Ted Cruz. You know, Ted Cruz wouldn't know the truth if he tripped over it in Cancun. But Ted Cruz's ridiculousness aside, today was a good day for justice in America. And folks, I feel like we're just getting warmed up. And I feel like justice is coming. And justice matters. Folks, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.